evening, everyone, and welcome to Damage Does D&D. Tonight, we are back with our Helloran Rising campaign. And last week, well, let's see what Melissa thought of last week.
Her world just never stops getting crazier. We set off from Daghold about a day ago. I'd only just begun to get comfortable in such a strange place, underground and clearly built for people much shorter than myself. The desert of the fire wastes was almost unending until we came across a camp situated outside of a building entrance. It was guarded by these small, draconic-looking creatures that rode snakes. They seemed unaffected by Firenze's flames as we fought. Small mercy to me. I'm afraid of using her magics, especially in a place like this. Good to know they wouldn't have been effective anyway. Once these so-called kobold creatures were slain, we began to assess the building. The area had a strong energy about it, both hellish as I'd expected, but also divine. Paladas's sister must very much be here as well. The stone structure barred our way, the flaming door seemingly solid with no way of entry. I think myself lucky that the dwarves found those magical paints in the underneath the red port. I was able to use them to grant us entry, the door seemingly an illusion that blocked only entry to us. And the further room having another illusory wall of flames that didn't burn us at all. It was so incredibly hot down there. Hotter than Daghold, the very air wavered with the heat. It was difficult to concentrate. We eventually came to an ashen chamber, the river and pool of lava running through the middle. It was similar to the undersea chamber of Peladas. Firenze stepped forward to do something, but seemingly annoyed something or someone. I was too distracted with my own silent prayers to Remora. She allayed my nerves, stating we were more than capable of facing what lay ahead. Is Remora the answer I'm looking for? I so desperately want to escape her influence, but isn't treating death the right answer? I do feel an odd kinship to her. If it weren't for my traveling companions, I would be so alone. Perhaps that was her intention. One by one, we crossed the lava. I was uncertain, and Trelador lifted me and leapt across it with me. He seems a lot more balanced as an elf, though he's very much standoffish. I can understand that, though. I suspect he feels lost in a similar capacity. As we continued, Gus saw the lava level in the pool begin to fall. With an amulet that Florian had found on the kobolds above, we were able to traverse the door and find ourselves in another chamber. Calador's wound seemed to be affecting him further, and after a moment we heard a scream for help. Dakota. We saw her laying on a stone altar in the middle of the further room. Myself and the dwarves rushing to her aid. She screamed in intense pain when Gus tried to lift her. She was magically bound to the altar. Gus and Yarick then out to try and lift the entire altar free, cracking the stone, and then Florian did something foolish. Trelador's blood was already floating out, trying to link to Dakota, but Florian rushed in to help the dwarves. And as I was trying to comfort and help her, she seemed possessed and grabbed Florian's arm. I was panicking, and in a moment Florian pulled his hand free. I then saw Miette take Dakota's hand and slip something onto her finger, and in a flash, she vanished. Trelador's blood reacted. I could swear I felt something furry brush against my arm, but I don't know exactly what our madame has done. I, I had my suspicions, but we shouldn't exactly discuss in the temple of our enemy. I trust Miette, though. She's smarter than most of us give her credit for. I can only hope that Dakota will be safe wherever she's been taken. We then tried to figure out our escape. Firenze inspected our entrance, only to receive a face full of lava. He was lucky that Yarick had the capability to heal those kind of wounds. But we were definitely stuck. And after a moment of collecting my thoughts, I realized we weren't on a material plane anymore. We'd sunk into the hells again, possibly much like we did in Peladas's prison before. There was only one way out, as much as I disliked the possibility. we leapt into the well, and I had to pull Florian in with us as he seemingly got distracted looking back at the chamber entrance. Remora, please protect my friends. I'm bound to an awful fate, but they do not deserve agony. They're good people.
That was a pretty good representation, I would say, of what had happened. So, picking up from that, you feel yourselves falling the normal weirdness of the Well of Many Worlds as you tumble through nothingness, darkness, until you hit the ground hard. You don't take any damage, but you hit a definite stone floor. And as the darkness fades away, you can see a bright light in front of you, hidden slightly by a pillar that you're stood behind. There's shadow covering you. Not as dark as the well, but still a shadow cast by the pillar in front of you, and this bright light up ahead. What would you like to do?
Counterspell. If it's casting shadow. Sorry, bad joke.
Yeah, very bad.
Does the place look familiar?
You can make a history check. See if you've been here. Or
Forego that question. The roll was a 1.
Then no, not at all.
I know we've just landed, but can I get a sense on any pervasive magic here? Like the sense I got of like fiendish and divine magic in the Temple of Amash.
Make an Arcana check.
Is this a temple of some kind?
How do you want to determine that?
Apart from the pillar, is there anything else obvious that would...
Perception check.
That's decent. 18.
18. You don't sense divine or fiendish magics. You do sense up ahead from the light definitely some sort of illumination spell, but it's very bright and it seems very old.
I'd like to race forward to behind the pillar, and keep round the side.
Okay, we'll get to you in a minute. Your perception check, Celeste?
30.
30. So looking around the room from your position in the shade here, there's a pillar in front of you. And sort of looking around, you can see these sort of angled walls. You surmise, you can't see all of them, but you surmise with that perception check it's an octagonal room. Probably 200, 250 feet to the furthest point. But looking, you can see other pillars evenly spaced around the room, also casting shadows from this huge light in the middle of the room. Gus, you
Yes.
reach up to the pillar, peek round.
Yep.
There's a burning bright light in your face.
Is it painful?
You get the sense it will be if you keep looking at it.
I'll not keep looking at it then.
Yep. So you.
And I'll back to this pillar. Where are we going then? What are we doing? I don't know this place.
Well,
So-
I think it's quite obvious we're not quite where we were hoping to go. I don't remember a burning bright light in the centre of Daggold.
You know what they say? Don't go into the light. So let's go the other way.
They do
Imagine-
say that, but if you do, you go and meet Remora, and she's quite a good barmaid.
Oh, I like her. Should we go into the light then?
I don't know. It's magical, but I'm not getting any particular feeling from it.
Well, you better
I
do
don't
what
think
you're
it's.
right, because it's bloody bright and it hurts.
I don't think it's Remora.
Oh.
It's not the right.
It's a large
There's-
octagonal room with multiple pillars. Did I get the sense that it was temple-ish?
I mean, you've been in similar sort of shape rooms in temples, but there's no sort of symbology to denote any kind of god. There's nothing inscribed on any of the walls or any of the pillars.
Does the idea of a bright light evoke any of the temples of Dar?
Make a religion check.
And when
Can
I looked at the light,
Yes.
did I feel like it was in the middle of the room, or at the back of the room, or
It's
in the middle of the room?
Nat 1 for 8.
I mean, Dar has so many temples. There's probably one that's got a big light in the middle of it, but you don't recall one.
The lightiness of the light, is it similar to when we used the well, I think, for the first or second time, when we were in that cave and outside it was scorching hot, bright?
No, that was sunlight. This, while very, very bright, seems magical rather than natural light.
Can I have a look to see if I can determine what it is?
What the light?
Yeah.
In what way?
Well, first of all, have a look at it, see if there's anything about it that screams magic at me, or if I can sense anything magical from it, or what kind of spell it might be if it is magical.
Sure, make an Arcana check.
If we're so interested, I can find out what things are by doing a little spell, but I sort of need to touch that, and I don't know if I can touch light.
I could shoot it, see what happens.
I'm not
Maybe not the best idea at the moment.
Well, let's put that one on the back burner then, and we'll just keep that for later.
21.
21. It's definitely magical. It's old. It seems to be some form of the light spell, but very powerful.
I'm going to say in Celestial, towards the light. Hello, is anybody there?
You say towards. Are you looking at the light while you do this?
Not directly at it, but in that direction.
You say the words in that direction.
It's not.
Just
Are
gonna
there
say DM.
other pillars in this room?
You can make a perception check, or Celeste, if she shared her perception check from earlier, would have told you there are probably 8. Seems like the angles of the walls suggest it's octagonal room.
Yeah, I did. I think I said it was octagonal.
Yeah, I think you did. I don't think you specified how many pillars there are, but I'll tell you that there's 8.
Okay.
Yes, it's an octagonal room.
I wonder if there's a door on the other side. I'll go and have a look.
Yeah, that's just what I
Send
was
you a message,
thinking.
DM.
I'll scoot from pillar to pillar.
Okay, it's
Like
quite
doing-
it's about sort of 50 feet between pillars.
Yeah,
I
I'll do a running burst like a
As-
ninja.
As you step out of the shadow, you feel yourself really lethargic and slow, down to about half speed as you walk through the light to get to the next pillar. So the rest of you watch Gus as he was going to scurry out, and then sort of, it looks as though he's scurrying, but at half speed. Very strange. A sort of
Gus?
slurry rather than scurry.
And I'll start going do 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 as in slow mo running across the room.
Yeah.
Does it feel slow to me, or does it feel normal and I'm just going slow?
It feels slow, and it feels as though, as you sort of look down at the ground, you can see your shadow stretching behind you. Almost seems to be pulling you back towards the shadow
Ooh.
of the
I'll
pillar.
still keep going to the next pillar.
Okay. You make it to the next pillar. You feel better, more your normal self, back to normal speed.
It's a bit weird.
You alright, Gus?
Yeah, I'm fine. It was just sort of like, I don't know, I went all stretchy and stuff. So I'm going to try an experiment. I'm going to get my shield off my back and hide behind my shield and just scuttle along the ground and see if it still slows me down.
Into the light again. Yep, it does still slow you down, as if you're being pulled backwards to the shadow.
I'll keep going to the next one.
Yep, you keep going to the next one.
That didn't work. Can I see anything on the walls, if there's any doorways or anything?
Make a perception check or investigation, your choice.
Whilst he does that, Chaz, I did just send you a little message.
Oh,
just to-
sorry. Yeah, okay.
That's right.
20!
20. There are no doors. Nothing carved on the walls, nothing painted or written on the walls, but it's very good quality stonemasonship. Dwarven,
Is
you
it?
would say.
Yeah.
Very good, very, very, very high quality. Old though, very old.
I'll shout back to York. York, good stonework. Must be dwarves.
That's interesting.
And given how that thing works, we could be anywhere.
Yeah. So either we start trying to mess about with that light and see what that does, or we up back in the hole.
Mm-hmm.
It
Okay.
didn't work how we thought it would, though, did it?
Nope.
I have a feeling it doesn't work like that at all. I'm not entirely sure we can control it. I'm gonna try sticking my hand out in the light.
Your hand is in the light. Are you moving it?
No effect. As I try and like move my fingers.
Your fingers are slow, and you can see the shadow from the light sort of trying to pull them back.
It's weird. And I'm gonna kind of, whilst holding it there, just look to where the shadows lead,
They lead to the wall.
where it's being pulled away. That's. I pull my hand back.
Nothing wrong with your hand. Perfectly normal.
I'm going to
That
try
is
another experiment.
Weird.
And I'm going to go. So the pillars here, the shadow behind it going back
Yep.
to the wall.
Yep.
I'm going to scuttle down the shadow to the wall.
Yep.
And then I'm going to try running along the wall, see if it makes it any easier.
Okay. You run along the wall. You get that same creepy feeling that your shadow's trying to pull you into the wall.
Is it as intense as it was by the
Yeah,
columns?
seems to be.
Okay. Right, that didn't work either.
Do you remember when we were hopping around using this thing last time? We ended up in different places and times, didn't we? And there was one where Riox didn't even know who I was, or he couldn't remember me, or something. Maybe I could try and contact Riox, see if it will get us an idea of when we are.
That might help.
Wasn't that when we were in my time?
We did pop by your time, didn't we?
We were in that desert. I
Yeah.
remember. I just want to try something. I'm going to kind of pull my bow and draw an arrow, but only pull it like halfway to make sure it doesn't. It's just going to be a standard arrow, and I'm just going to like half fire it into the light. Or like not directly towards the light, but like across towards the next pillar.
Okay.
To see what kind of effect has it.
Okay, make an attack
has.
roll. I know you're not trying to technically to attack anything, but I just want to make sure you don't, make
Hit
it
me.
one or
Drop
something.
you on the other side of the room.
Attack roll with a non-plus arrow is 21.
21. Okay, so you fire your arrow gingerly, and you watch as it goes. It gets about halfway across to the next pillar. Zoom! Against the wall.
Right. Okay. This place is very strange.
With everything what's going on and everyone trying out the shadows, does it seem like the light is getting out, or that the shadows are sucking the light in?
Sorry, reword that for my small brain.
Yeah, no, for my fideisms. How do I put this?
I think what he's trying to ask
Yeah,
is,
does it feel like the shadows are
is
trying to
darkness
dampen the light?
pulling the lights, or
Yes.
is the light pushing the darkness?
Oh God! Make an insight check.
It wasn't what I was going for, but thanks, James, for understanding.
Sorry,
To check the fundamental nature of the universe.
your brain a bit, unfortunately.
We're insight checking physics now.
23.
23. Okay. Judging by what Gus has told you and the reaction of Melissa's arrow, you suspect, you don't know for sure, but you suspect that the shadow is somehow pulling away from the light. So anything that casts a shadow that's not one of these pillars is going to be slowed or even dragged back towards the walls of the chamber. In short, you don't think it's the light pushing you away.
Yeah.
You think it's the shadow trying to keep you by the wall.
I let the party know that.
Maybe then, if someone casts a light spell behind them, then they wouldn't have a shadow because they'd have the light on one side and the light on the other side, and then the shadow wouldn't be able to pull them anywhere.
See, that's why you're the smart one.
That's right. I can't cast a light spell, though.
No, me neither.
Can anyone cast a light spell?
Nope. Lorenz removed. I could do it simultaneously on. Yeah.
I mean, I could always light a torch or something.
I don't think it's strong enough, though, would it? Because that is very, very bright light.
Depends how big a fire we make, I suppose.
Well, that's true.
I
But then
don't
we
think
might
a fire
burn
would.
Oh.
I don't think a fire would do it. This light is more magical than a normal light spell. Does it seem more magical than like a daylight spell?
It's different to the daylight spell. It's like the light spell, but incredibly more powerful.
It's not a daylight spell either. It's different, but more powerful. It's like somebody's turned the light up to the nth degree.
I didn't know you could upcast cantrips.
My shield is mainly made of crystal. So if I cast light on the crystal itself, would it refract out in strange ways?
Probably.
Okay. Friends will stand, pull out his shield, cast light on it, and then prop it against the back wall.
Okay. So,
And
where are you popping it against the back wall? In the shadow where you are?
to begin with, yeah.
Okay. So, the light spell sort of on the shield sort of casts light forward, and you can see the shadow sort of disappear, sort of up to a certain amount of radius. The shadow.
Now try walking.
Yeah, I'll step in between where the shield has been propped and like middle of the room and see if that still slows me down like it did Gus.
Well, if you're walking out of the shadow of the pillar directly towards the shield, yeah, you can walk,
Yeah,
you walk normally. Just you're out of the shadow of the pillar and you're in the light of the light spell that's on Ferentz's shield.
What if I try walking towards the actual centre of the room? In line with the shield, with it doing the light.
You can't do it in line with the shield because the shield's behind a pillar. But if you
If
move
that's
the
what he-
shield, so that
If
it's
that's what he
behind
wants
you,
to do, yeah. What I'll do is I'll sort of just lean out and hold it, So it's behind Florian as he moves forward, and I'll move
Okay,
sort of to
sure.
the edge with him.
Yep. Okay, so, and as you start to walk, you don't experience any slowness. You do, however, after about sort of 30 feet, take 3 points of psychic damage as you get towards the light,
Ooh.
as you're looking at it.
Yeah, I'll stop instantly. Be like, let's just
Address
head
the light. If you're that close.
back. Let's just get back. That damaged me a bit in my mind. It was psychic damage.
So what you do?
Yarrick, have you tried?
No, not yet. Everyone else was busy, and I couldn't really say
Florian,
much.
what you?
Yeah. So I'll be like, if like, I've got the shield like behind me and I'm walking towards the light, I'll stop as soon as I take the damage, and I'll be like, that hurt.
Are you still looking at the light?
No, I wouldn't have been looking at the light as whilst walking. I've just been walking towards it.
Oh, right, okay. Well, then you don't take the damage unless you look at the light.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, not looking at it, just seeing if it slowed me down with like light behind it.
It doesn't. If the shield is moving with you, you don't get slowed down. As soon as you start to cast a shadow, however, you start to get slowed down.
Yeah.
Right. I'm going to sit down in the shadow of Mortal or something, and do my usual ritual. Hey, Reorx, are you about? It's Yorick, if you don't know.
Are you casting a spell, or are you just reaching out as well?
I was just reaching out.
Okay, make a religion check for me, please.
I would have headed back with friends just to the shadows, to the pillar.
Hey, 22.
22. Yorick! Good to hear from you. How you doing?
Oh.
Back in Daggold, I see.
We're in Daggold.
Aye.
We're in a strange
certainly
room.
Seems like it, anyway.
Right, we're in a very strange room. I've never been here in Dagholt. It's weird. There's
hang on. Let me just triangulate 1 second. Oh yeah, you're quite deep though.
What's this light?
What light's that?
What?
I can't actually see where you are. I just sort of feel you. You see.
There's this really, really intense light in the middle of an 8-sided room.
8-sided? Don't remember that one. Mind you, the dwarves did make a lot of different things. Some of them lost to time. So maybe you're in one of those. How did you get there?
We used the well to
All
escape.
right.
It's quite fun. We were stuck in the hells. We went to do a bit of a rescue mission. We got stuck in the hells by a room of lava.
Right.
So we had to use this to sort of escape. And we thought, there's no place like home. And,
well, you've made it. Good work.
That's good. Don't know how we get out of here, though.
I don't know. It's not a room that I'm familiar with. I mean, I could probably work it out.
No, it's fine. It would be more fun to investigate.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, I really appreciate your help, boss man, as ever.
Anything's my favourite cleric. Oh, and Tylador. Good to see you, boy.
Can I hear all that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I have a question. If you
Hey,
like to.
fire away.
We are in the correct time.
What do you mean by correct
changed.
time?
Before we've travelled back in time and stuff.
Why?
Just want to check.
Right, so what time were you actually in before?
Well, you're the god. You should know.
I don't really pay attention to time. It's not my thing.
So you're probably not the right person to ask this then.
Hey, well, I've been very busy. There was a war on, you know.
There was a war on, so we're in the
Aye.
future.
Well, you were instrumental in, getting it to stop. I mean, it's still technically going on at the edges, but
So, how long ago is it since we left Darkhold, if we're now back?
oh, that would be. Let me think. So, to carry the 2 and put it in. I've made 14 axes.
Well, that would probably only take you like 20 minutes, wouldn't it?
Possibly, but I've been doing some drinking.
Right. Okay, so probably not that long.
Probably not.
That's all right then. See,
Probably
Django?
he's doing a lot of heavy lifting in this conversation.
Well, God of the Forge. Heavy lifting's part of it.
Alright.
Have fun, boys. The voice is gone.
Okay, right, everyone. We are indeed in Darkhold, which is
Right.
good. But the dwarves are a very old and complicated race who have created many things, of which we are sort of in one right now.
And we're still in the rat timeline?
From what we could tell, or from what Reorg said, he's made 14 axes since we left. So it can't have been that long.
He was a bit vague on that point, though.
Yeah, well, he's been drinking as well.
At least he remembers you this time, though.
Exactly.
Is this the kind of thing dwarves you would make?
I mean, Gus did say it was very good architecture, proper stonework. So,
So, would it mean that we'd have to walk into the light, or the walls to get at?
now this is what we need to figure out, isn't it? We're in an octagonal room, apparently. Or at least it's one with 8 sides. There's a few pillars and a bright light. And that's what we got to work on. And the shadows are a bit funny. So,
There's
Can you
I
confirm
see.
that
yourselves on yet. You've not spoken much. What's your thought?
So you both
I
spoke
can't
at the
tell who
same
you're
time then.
addressing.
I was offering Miette to speak.
Thank you. I was going to ask, has it been confirmed there's absolutely no markings on any of the pillars at all, or just the sides we can see?
I mean, just the sides we can see at the moment. I mean, if you wanted to, you could. I mean, Gus has seen, what, 4 pillars now? Well, the back of them, anyway.
So that's about half the room.
And hasn't come across anything yet. Celeste did a sort
I'll
of.
continue scurrying round till I'm back to where I was. So I'll go right round the building.
Okay,
Look
there are
at
no
all the
markings
walls.
on any of the backs of the pillars or any of the walls. There are no doors. But every time you step out into the light, you get that weird feeling that your shadow is trying to pull you back into the wall.
Quite like it.
You know.
Right. I'm going to go take a look at this light. Right, because if it's dwarven made, can't be too bad.
Whilst York goes to do that, if Gus says there's no markings on the back of the pillars, I'm going to go to the pillar we're at and go around to the front of it and see if there's any markings in the light.
As you step out into the light again, move slowly round to the front of the pillar. You see your shadow cast on the pillar, and there are no markings that you can see. And you feel yourself being slowly drawn towards the pillar as your shadow seems to sort of pull you towards. It's not unlike being pulled by the blood.
Hmm.
It's a similar
Okay.
sense, not the same, but similar. You can kind of recognise the sort of the
I've never
similarity.
quite. Yeah, I've never quite liked that feeling, so I'll move back round to the other side of the pillar,
Okay,
to the dark side of the
the
pillar.
dark side, where you're safe. Good,
Um,
probably.
there's, I don't know. It seems like we might have to do this at the same time, but there's 8 pillars and 8 of us.
That feels. I don't know.
Do what at the same time?
Potentially walk to the light without looking at it from each of the pillars.
There's 9 of us. You've forgotten your sister already.
Sister's not here.
No, she got teleported off somewhere else.
Pushed away by a secret cat person.
I'll miss that.
Well, maybe we should walk backwards towards it then we can't look at it.
Or you can just look at the floor on the way walking forward, right?
Yeah, but still, the light will go through your eyelids, won't it? It'll burn your eye sockets out.
I'm
Is there
gonna.
any
Why,
sign
you
of?
stupid or something? You never looked into a light torch?
Is there any sign of any ways out?
No, there's nothing. No doors, no nothing. I've been all around the whole building.
Has anyone looked up?
I didn't think to look up.
No, nobody's told me that they've looked up.
I'll look up.
Okay, make a perception check.
There's something horrifying that's been watching us this entire time.
16.
Maybe.
Yes, it's called the DM.
Yeah. Thanks.
Well, I'm sorry, you're sitting there all smug that we're not figuring this out.
I'm just putting
This-
the things
this
in
is-
front of you.
It's one
This
of
is how
those.
DMs build puzzles.
It's one of those things where it's like, well, they've got stuck by a door, they've got stuck by a fucking chair. What else can we throw at them?
It's by a light. You look up
Bridge.
at the ceiling, and the columns extend into the ceiling. But so the shadows, as it were, just sort of go up behind each one. But in the middle of the ceiling, it's lit up by this light, and the stonework looks excellent.
How far up does it go?
It's about 80 feet high.
And what's at the top of it?
Some stonework, dwarven made
All right.
stonework.
So it's just like a chimney.
Yeah, you're
Sort of.
basically in an octagonal room with a ceiling on it,
All right, okay.
with these pillars that go up.
Try the door.
Okay.
Quick. I just want to do another quick vibe check. Make sure that this place has no hellish energy to it.
Okay. Explain to me your vibe check. You just want to make a.
I just want to try and just again tuning into the sense of the magic. Try and
Okay.
tell what kind of magic this is.
Give me Arcana or Insight. Up to you.
I am better at Arcana,
Okay.
so that is the one I will roll. Ooh, 17 for 24.
24 on Arcana. You're just a general round the room vibe check as to what kind of.
I'm more focused on. Yeah, actually, around the room, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
because the shadows
The light
intrigue me.
seems, as Celeste has already said, like a very powerful version of the light spell. Shadows, however, seem strange. When you step out into the shadow, when you put your hand out into the shadow, it seemed like your shadow was trying to pull you away from the light. It doesn't seem devilish, demonish, fiendish, or divine. But there's definitely a magic too, some sort of I don't know which one it would be. Kind
Definitely
of
more tuned.
transmutation-ish.
Transmutation, so teleportation kind of stuff.
Yeah, it's difficult to tell, but again, these magics seem very old.
Right.
I'm going to start going towards the light.
Okay, and how are we doing this? Very slowly.
Engage next.
Okay.
Walk towards light. I will initially look at it,
Okay.
but if it gets too uncomfortable, I'll try and avert my eyes.
So you get about 30 feet at half speed, and you take. Where's it gone? Here we are. Ooh, 7 points of psychic damage before you tear your eyes away from the light. And you're now at quarter speed. You're getting slower, it's getting more and more difficult to walk towards, and you can feel yourself, something's trying to drag you back away
Not
from the light.
Sure what
It's
the
getting
magic
very
is in here.
uncomfortable.
It's not fiendish, it's not divine.
When Florian tested with Forensi's light, he didn't get slowed with the extra lights, did he?
Well, the light was behind him, no.
I'm going to go and grab the shield and
Yeah.
hold it up behind, just from behind the thing, but behind Yorick.
As I'm walking slowly, I'd be like,
So you put the shield behind Yorick, and
light.
as soon as his shadow disappears, Yorick, you start moving at normal speed.
Much
Gus,
better, thank you.
However, you're still casting a shadow, so you start to slow down.
We need a
And
light train.
So see,
When you get about, how far away is the light cast? It's
60 feet,
bright
isn't
light
it?
in 30 or
it's-
bright light in
it's
20?
bright light in 20,
Bright
dim
light.
light for an additional 20.
So as soon as you get 20 feet away from Gus, which doesn't take long as Gus is slowing down, you again start casting a shadow, start slowing down.
How far away from the light is he?
Now, 30. You would be about 30 feet away from the centre of the light now. So it's very difficult to look directly at Yorick for very long.
If you want to follow, I can do something which will help everybody follow. And friends will just reach up and touch the tip of his staff and cast daylight
Okay.
on the tip of the staff, which is, it lasts for an hour, and it's a sphere of light, bright light, for 60 feet,
Okay.
and dim light for an additional 60.
Okay. So as soon as friends cast that on the staff, anybody within 60 feet of him, as soon as you step out into what was the light and is now the light, and you don't cast a shadow, so as long as you stay within that 60 feet, you don't cast a shadow, you can walk freely. And as you close the gap to Gus, you feel that heaviness and grasping disappear as you're surrounded by light as the rest of the party catches up to you.
I knew it would work. I carry on going, not even realising that that's happened behind me.
Yeah. And you catch up to Yorick, and Yorick, you feel that lightness again and that grasping vanish as you get towards the source of the light, and it's about 12 feet up. So as you get closer to it, you can see underneath, lit up clear as day, a set of stairs going down.
Sneaky bastard.
There's some stairs. There's some stairs.
Right, let's go down them then.
Let's go down.
Just run down the stairs.
So everybody piles down the stairs, lit up this beautiful dwarven hallway. You can see sort of as you get to the bottom of the stairway, which is quite steep and quite long, there's a long corridor. You would say 200 feet long, probably. And it's lit up quite well with all the light sources that you have. And the stonework is absolutely beautiful. You would suggest very old, again, dwarven types that are looking at the stone. And yeah, no markings anywhere. What would you like
I
to do?
will give Ferenz back his shield. So that was a brilliant idea, Ferenz. You're almost as clever as I am.
I don't think I'll ever get that clever, Mr. Gus.
Well, you can try. Practice makes perfect.
Okay, what would you like to do?
Well, I suppose Yorick and I are at the front.
Yeah.
Because we were the first going down, so we'll march along looking for any ways out.
Okay, make a perception check.
See, I said that felt all the world like a prison to me.
20 for me.
20, okay.
Maybe for some
five
shadowy
for me.
creatures.
5. Okay.
Yeah.
Gus. So, Gus, it's a beautiful hallway. You've walked down hallways like this all your life. Back in Daghold, there's like hallways like this all everywhere. Yorick, this is familiar, but really old, as I said. And you don't seem to be... There's something off. There's something not quite right here. But you're struggling to work out what it is. There's no doorways or alcoves or anything. The stones are all smooth. There's no sort of gaps in the mortar, apart from the one that Gus just trod on. And I would like you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Okie dokie. 20.
20. Okay, so the floor drops away from you as you're going forward, and you manage to spin and catch the edge of the stonework as the stone path in front of you just drops. Now this is about 20 feet wide, this corridor, and a good 20 feet of it has just disappeared. So a 20-foot square block has just disappeared down, seemingly forever, into the darkness, and you're hung onto the edge like that.
I'll Yorick, hand please.
Uh-oh.
I was just testing it. I found a trap and I thought I'd just test it. So it saved you there. You can say thank you now if you like.
I'll pull him up.
Yeah. Okay.
She'll be careful.
Okay, so as you stand back up, you've got a 20-foot wide gap of nothingness, and then the corridor continues on to the other side.
Okay, we're going to need some brains to get across to the other side, aren't we?
Yorick, how much of your history of Darkhold do you know? Someone mentioned a prism. Is Darkhold named after a prism? The hold part?
Let me just have a little think.
Okay, roll a history check. Let's see how much you remember.
Seamless play. Wow, I rolled a 19. 17.
17, nice. Well, you know that Daghold itself is not named after a prison. The hold part is from the keep that juts out of the mountain. It was a fortress. It was fortified, Daghold. The original name was Daghold Keep, for holding the fortress against intruders and outsiders. What you suspect is, this sort of just tickles at the back of your mind, you seem to recall that back in the mists of time, as they were digging out the tunnels to get to the inside of the mountain to build Daghold the city, they went a lot further than Daghold that you know now, and they found some things that they didn't like, so they built a series of trap rooms to discourage those things from coming up to Daghold.
Right. Now that you mention it, Trelator, and this is probably good for you to know, actually, you're not. I don't know.
Is there a quick version?
Traps. Like, I don't know, you might put a bear trap down or a thing with a stick. I don't know, I've never hunted rabbits. You know what I mean? Like,
Now,
more a snare, yeah. Like, defensive stuff, because obviously, dwarves mine lots, so when we mined in the past, like, quite far and deep away from Daggold, there was stuff apparently that the dwarves didn't quite like back then. So, like, traps and snares and things, quite complicated ones, like this was set up. So we might have a bit of a gauntlet to get back to Daggold. So watch your step.
Can't we just use the well again?
We can't guarantee where we'd end up.
Can't guarantee where we are and how to get out of here.
True.
Anyone
My
got an
concern
idea?
is that if that was a trap or a prison, it was disturbingly empty.
Yeah, it wasn't. They're not really prisons. They are a trap. So if something wanders in, it gets stuck in there. You know, like wasps, and you have those like things you hang, and they
Right.
can get in from the bottom, but then they can't get back out. It's like that.
Right.
I don't suppose dwarves would really have wasps in a mountain, but you know.
There's something you learned down south, wasn't it?
Stone
Yeah,
wasps. That's a thing.
Right, so how are we going to get across this big 20-foot hole then?
Hole. Let's see.
How long did you say this corridor was, DM?
Couple of 100 feet, as far as you can tell. It certainly
I
goes
mean,
off
I
into the
could jump
darkness.
over it.
You don't want to jump over the 20-foot hole.
Yeah, why not? I'm athletic. Not.
Wait. Let's, before we start trying to do really risky maneuvers, jumping over quite a large hole that not everyone is going to make, perhaps I can use a little bit of magic to get across.
Ooh.
that might be a better option. Certainly.
Right. Give me 10 minutes. Just hold your horses.
10 minutes?
What's
Bloody
that?
hell. 10 minutes? What are you going to do?
Ignores. Already casting. I'm basically casting Fabricate to use the raw materials, that is the stone that's around, to form a bridge across this gap. Does that even work?
Well, there's no sort of spare material about. So, are you trying to shape the stone that you're standing on into a bridge? Is that the plan?
Maybe the wall. Just try and sort of pull a bit of the wall out and sort of lay it down. And
That we can do. Sure. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Roll a d20.
a D what?
D20, please.
6.
6. Okay, you get not a sort of a full-on bridge, but you get 6 stepping stones out of the wall. They're about a foot wide each, maybe 2 feet wide each.
Yeah.
So you've got 8 feet worth of stepping stones separated, I'll say evenly. So you instead of making a 20-foot jump, you've got to make what? A series of 2-foot jumps, which is doable.
That's a step, isn't it?
Yeah, just about. So
When you've got short, stubby legs like you.
The right size legs, I mean. Not bloody tree trunks.
Beg your pardon?
If we... no, forget that question, but I've got it on me. So what I'm going to do, seeing that, I'll just turn to the group and I'll be like, well, I can get across quite easily. And
Tie this rope round you first, in case you drop off, because I know you're a bit clumsy.
And I've got this rope.
Oh, you've got a rope as well. Oh, use yours then. That's fine.
And maybe if I can get across the rope, one end here, I've got the other one, and just in case somebody does have a bit of a slip, we've got a bit of extra.
Well, it'd be better if everybody, when they go across, individually tie themselves to the rope. Then if someone falls in, we can pull them out. Don't you think? See, you got to use your brain, son.
James, if you don't have inspiration already, please take it.
I do, but thanks.
So I'll tie the rope around my waist.
Go on then, Yorick. Let's get the other end. Trevor, come on, you're Mr. Muscles.
And yeah, I'm basically going to take a route along the wall and run across to the other side.
Are you going to use Yorick's stepping stones that are jutting out of the wall, or are you just going to run over the wall?
No, I'm going to run like if there's a route along the wall. So those you said these 6 like.
Stepping stones.
You're going to do don't munch it. Just say don't munch it.
Don't munch it and just run across the wall.
Okay.
Florian, before you go, just a little bit of advice. Don't fall in.
Solid advice.
Yes, I'm sure without that piece of advice, he would have jumped headfirst into the abyss.
Is it dark in the tunnel?
Yeah. Eventually, as it sort of gets beyond your light.
Yeah, so Lorenz will literally just put Florian's quarterstaff and gas light.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I'll just run in between where the blocks of wall have come out and just do the hole, but obviously on the side of the wall and get to the other side.
Yep, fine, you can do that. You get to the other
Right,
side.
you untie your rope now, and we'll pull it back and put it on the next person.
Just side the wall.
I didn't think this is me now speaking. I didn't think I would need to untie the rope because it's 50-foot rope and it's a 20-foot gap.
Well, how are we going to tie it around the next person if it's already tied around you, you bloody numpty?
I'll untie it and keep hold of one end.
No, let go, you idiot. We got to tie that end around the next person so we can hold on to them.
Can you describe what Yorick's done for me again, please? Sorry.
Right. Yorick has pulled some stone out of the wall. About a, say, 1 foot by 1 foot block.
Right.
He's pulled 6 of those out of the wall in a line, bridging this 20-foot gap. They're not together, but they're
a couple of feet apart.
Yeah, a couple of feet apart. So you've got stepping stones, in effect. Florian has don't knocked his way across the gap, ignoring the stepping stones, just running across the wall.
Because monk.
And he's now holding one end of a rope that Gus is trying to either A, pull him into the hole or pull the rope back.
This is the polar opposites of the way my mind works and the way James's mind works, because I'm thinking is 50-foot of rope. It's not going to take 20-foot of rope to tie it around my body.
But how we've got to hold on to one end to catch them if they fall in. So the other end's got to be tied round the person who's going across the stepping stones. How can we do that if you're holding onto the bloody thing?
I suppose the rope between the 2 sides could be used as some way to hold on, something to hold on to.
It could. Yeah. What if you slip and fall?
Exactly.
You'd be wouldn't you?
Friends just
And
look
probably pulling people in who are holding on to the end.
Whilst they've been arguing,
I let go of the rope.
Okay.
can I have been at the back of the group with pulling out my marvelous pigments,
Yes.
and I'm going to paint a like wide wooden board
Okay.
that is just the right width to kind of fit cleanly over the right size to fit cleanly over the
stepping stones.
gap. Yeah, to put them across the stepping stones.
Sure.
And as
Right.
they're arguing, I'm just going to let the first one just drop into place, making
Okay. Ferenz,
making
you
a
want to
bang
do something?
sound.
Yeah, so while they were all fanning about, sort of like, he would literally just look at Yorick, look at his amulet and go, oh, I've got to have faith in my friends, and just literally just walk across them.
Okay. How
Question.
tall are you? So 1 second. Hold that thought yet.
Ferenz is just over 7 feet tall.
7 feet tall. Yeah. I'll
Right,
say-
who's going
I'll say
next then?
You don't even need to make a dex check because your stride is that long. And Melissa's put a board down on the first one, but you just step over it and step and step and step to the other side.
And I'm then going to be, after having put the first one down and Friends walks across, I'm just be painting the next one.
Okay.
Because they don't take me long to paint up.
Sure.
Right, who's going over next then?
Come on, it's not that hard, and I'm gonna like follow Ferenz, but I'm not gonna tie a rope or anything. I'm just gonna skip across
Make
those.
a dex check,
steps.
please. And I'll say
Dex
that
check?
Melissa's managed to get 2 boards down.
This is jumping. It's strength, surely.
Please no.
No. No. What'd you roll?
The just a straight up dex.
Straight objects.
5.
5. Yeah.
See, you should have listened to your smarter
So you
people.
walk across the
That had
first,
been
the first plank that Melissa's put down. Easy, no problem. Get onto the second stepping stone. Walk across the second plank. Easy, no problem. Third stepping stone. Walk across the plank. Shit, there's no plank. Because Melissa
I should have.
hasn't got that far yet.
I can leap 21 feet. I
You
should have
should have
just
just
jumped
done
the
that.
whole thing.
You should have just done that. Okay, so you are now falling. Does anybody want to do anything as you see?
Yeah, I
Yorick
want to
slip?
throw the rope, holding on to still having put the one end tied around me as we had done before anchoring it. Throw it after him and go, grab that!
Okay.
I'm going to immediately turn into a
Can I
Owl.
use a chance to grab the
Yes,
stone?
absolutely. Dexterity saving
Yeah.
throw.
Didn't so well last time.
19.
Obviously, see-
Yeah.
19.
You see Yorick disappear, and then if you look closely,
Yeah.
there's a hand, just one hand, hanging on the edge of this stepping stone.
seeing
As you're
that,
sort of
seeing
dangling
him,
above this inky blackness below you.
seeing him begin to trip and fall, Ferenz will stride back across, and because of my powerful build, I can lift as
Yep.
if I was one size larger. So I'll
Okay.
literally grab his wrist and just lift.
Okay, yep, no
Oh,
problem.
thank goodness.
So who wants a rope tied round them then?
You sort of nervously. You're right, Gus. It's worth checking these traps, isn't it?
I don't need
Yeah.
a rope. I'll go.
Third board.
Okay, quick dex check, please.
Dex check. Yeah.
Yep.
Whilst they're all doing this,
Yes.
I would like to just have. I'm not going to move a lot, but I would like to have a look for any traps this side of the gap.
Make an investigation check, please. What'd you get, Trinidad?
16.
16. Yeah, not a problem. Using the stepping stones and Melissa's boards, it's
Did
fairly
you
easy to get across.
tie the rope round yourself? Right. So now the strongest people are on the other side. Who's going to hold the bloody rope?
Well,
Jesus
when the
Christ.
next, when the next
Fourth
person
board.
comes over with the rope, then we'll start holding it this side.
Oh, for crikey's sake, Melissa, come on, let me tie you up.
Guess I'm working on it.
Oh, all right. Well, what about Celeste? Can I tie you up?
Or people could just,
That's not an offer I've had in a while.
All right, here we go then. And I'll tie it around your waist. Right, off you're up.
If it's all the same, I think I'll wait until Melissa's bridge is finished. Because I am not the most... Well,
Fifth board.
If anything was going to happen, though, you'd see it coming, Celeste. Don't worry.
Mr. Yorick, should we have a look at what's ahead while these lot carry on fannying about trying to get across here?
Okay, so the only people not gone across yet are Melissa, Gus, Miette, and Celeste.
And Celeste.
Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
So who's going next?
Miette would still like to ask her a question.
Oh, sure. Sorry, I do apologise. Everything got a bit chaotic there.
It did a bit. When Yorick pulled blocks from the wall to make the path, did that actually create holes in the wall?
No.
Or did it just reveal more masonry?
It's just sort of the stone has sort of almost grown out of the surrounding wall.
Okay. Never mind then, so.
Right, yeah. Do you want a rope tied round you so you can walk across safely and not do a Yorick?
I will regret this. Sorry. The player will regret this, but Miette will give Gus a withering look because cat.
Fair enough.
Okay. I'll tie it on. Right, off you go then. And when you get to
Sixth
the other
board.
end,
No, she doesn't want the rope tied on her.
oh, you don't want the rope. Oh.
No.
Don't want the rope.
Too proud.
Too proud.
cat,
Cats
come
never
back
fall off anything.
I'm painting the last board that's needed.
Okay.
That's
There
why
are
they
Channels that disagree with you, Debbie.
No, you didn't let me finish. So cats never fall off anything and never have a need to dig into your room to comfort their bruised ego afterwards.
No,
It's
not at all.
not a thing. No.
The internet is a liar.
People do that? Lie on the internet?
I know. It's crazy, right? So, Miette, almost
Yes.
all the boards are on. Make a dex check. It's a very, very low DC now.
$22.
Yep, not a problem. Miette just saunters across. No care in the world.
Right. I'm not going to bloody bother next time.
Who's next?
I guess I
Um,
will.
Seventh board?
Okay.
And
Put
I'll
all
step
the
over
boards
next
down.
to Florian and be like,
Do
well,
you
that
want
didn't
the
take
rope
long.
tied round you just in case you fall off?
I thought it already was.
Well, no, you told me not to do it because you were waiting for the boards to go down. But I'll do it, and I'll tie a rope round her waist.
Okay.
Thank you. Yes.
Make a dex check, please. Again, the
That's a
DC is
crash.
so low now.
14.
Yeah, not a problem.
Right, if you give that end to Yorick and Trelador and stuff, so they can hold it, and then I can tie this round Melissa, so she
Melissa's
can
already
go
got
across.
across.
Oh.
She was putting
I'll
the boards on.
Keep
as
it
she
tied
went
around
across.
myself then, and I'll walk across.
Yeah. Dex check, please.
Why do you need a rope, Gus?
10.
10. Yeah.
That's fine.
It's a bit wobbly. You're not sure about these wooden boards because you're not made of stone, so they might be suspect.
Mhm.
But yeah, you make it across.
Alright, there you go.
We had a rope so that people wouldn't do a Yorick and fall down the bloody hole.
That's why I put the wooden boards there. I thought it was apparent. Sorry.
Florian.
I
Anyway.
rolled 11 for the investigation,
11.
by the way.
Doesn't look like there's any traps here. Perfectly safe.
I'm going to chuck the rope back at names
Florian.
Florian.
and just stomp off down the corridor in a huff.
Okay. Marvellous.
I think he's had too many ideas for this year.
Yeah, his brain's overheating. So,
See, I'm convinced we're not in the right either universe or timeline because Gus is coming up with all of the ideas and all of the plans and figuring everything out,
What,
and the rest of us are sitting here stumped. And it's like, where have we landed?
Gus World. Can you imagine?
That would be amazing.
Okay.
Dragon girlfriends for everybody.
So, you carry on down this corridor, Gus stomping about out in front. I assume you're just walking normally, you're not making any effort to be quiet.
Absolutely, I am stomping off in a huff.
Perfect.
I don't know, 10 or 15 feet in front of everybody.
Okay. So,
Because that went so well before.
yeah. Dwarves, man. They're the best. For a DM. So, as Gus sort of stomps off and the rest of you follow, I assume?
Yeah.
Okay. You walk down this corridor. It seems to be taking a very long time. You still can't see the end of it. And Gus, you see a 20-foot hole appear out of nowhere with some stepping stones with some boards on them.
Oh boy.
I'll look at it and turn around and look like someone else had the same idea. That was handy.
That would appear to be right.
We're caught in a loop, right?
I mean, caught in a loop.
Let me test something, and I'm going to take a 10-foot run up and just jump over the gap.
Okay.
Assuming, just to double check the mechanics, jumping distance is your strength score.
Yes.
With a 10-foot run up.
Yeah, with a 10-foot run up. So yeah, I've got strength of 21.
Yep.
So I can clear that, and I'm going to carry on down the corridor and see if I see the backs of my friends.
Okay. So you carry on down the corridor, and you do indeed see the backs of your friends.
All right, guys.
Yeah, that is
Come
much.
from?
How far did we walk until we got to this place from the stairs?
From the stairs? I'd say about 100 feet, maybe.
What if we have to go down the hole?
That was what I was thinking.
I've got my quarterstaff, but not my bedroom.
I disagree.
Call back.
Because in that previous chamber, we had to embrace the light rather than move away from the darkness. But what if we have to embrace the darkness this time?
Ferenz, can you do that magic trick on this spare arrow?
Which one?
The one I'm holding.
The magic trick.
Light. And then drop it down.
The light spell you cast.
Yeah, I don't do magic tricks. I do magic, just not tricks.
Ooh.
Ferenz is sassy this evening.
And he'll touch the arrow and cast light on the tip.
I'm then gonna look over the edge and
Just the
drop
tip,
the arrow.
Just the tip. Okay. You knock the arrow.
I'm gonna drop the arrow
You just drop it
down the hole.
Okay.
I'm looking down as I drop it.
So you look down, you drop the arrow about 10 feet, it sticks, and the light disappears.
Interesting.
Right, down the hole it is then. And I'll
About
just
10
jump in.
feet down.
You just jump it into the hole.
You know.
Oh yes, at 4, 10 foot down. That's right.
He's gone from the most cautious to the least cautious.
Yeah. Okay. You
Hang on, when has
sounds about
Gus ever
right.
been cautious?
never.
Just now with the ropes.
Yes, the
Yeah.
ropes. He got a bit. His brain overheated, and yeah,
That's because he had an idea and he was hoping that everyone would go with it.
yeah, and they didn't. Yeah. Okay, so Gus, you jump off the side into the hole. Yes.
Yep.
And you all see Gus vanish from sight.
Interesting.
Gus?
I go into my backpack and I do get a bedroll out, which I've got in there.
Okay.
No, I don't. I don't. I'm joking.
Oh,
Gus? Gus?
Mr. Yorick,
Gus, can you hear us?
shall
Can I
we,
hear them?
shall we go after him?
Why don't we see if he's actually still alive first?
Can you contact
You
him?
may not do tricks, but I do. And I'm going to cast Sending.
Okay.
Previously, I used my last level 4 spell. I'm now using my last level 3.
Okay.
So I hope nobody needs Revivify. Wait, then that's a Celeste thing.
I'm just
Yeah.
going to point out, sort of like Ferenz literally wasn't being sassy in terms of saying that he doesn't do tricks. He's literally like very earnestly saying, "I do magic. I'm not doing tricks."
Fair enough.
Yeah, just Gus, are you still alive, mate?
You hear okay,
Um,
Gus?
Hopefully you are. You can talk back.
Yarp.
Just the up.
Yep,
That's
that's
all I
all
need.
right.
Do I see where I am or anything?
No, it's completely dark.
Bit dark down here, but yarp.
Right. And from everyone else's perspective, you hear Yorick send this message, and then suddenly he just turns around to look at you and then jumps backwards down the hole.
And Yorick goes,
Okay. I'm going to just step off and follow him down.
Same.
so,
No, not a thought about it. Just off.
okay.
Yeah.
So everybody
Okay, so
follows the
this is what
dwarves
we're doing.
into hell. I mean, into the darkness, and you all land in this sort of soft. Well, it's not really soft. It's like sand. It's inky black sand. And you put your hand in front of your face, you can just make it out. So dark down here.
Well, even with all the light spells that are around.
Oh yeah, Francis has got his daylight.
There's
spell.
daylight on this, and there's
Yeah.
a light on the shield.
Well, the
light
arrow
on
is
the arrow.
buried in the sand, so you
All right,
can't see. That you can see the rest of the arrow, but not the light, as it's buried in
Like
the
pull
sand.
the arrow out and hold it
Yep.
up.
The light appears. You can see just black sand, seemingly going on forever.
This doesn't look much like Daggold, does it?
Oh, God. What now?
It's almost like we needed somebody with the keen mind feat.
I just thought that.
Or somebody that could, detect traps, perhaps. Just a thought. So,
Where's the
you're all-
halo when you need it?
Yeah.
Where's a wizard when you need him?
There's a
You're
rogue when you need one.
standing on this
No rogues here.
black sand that sort of almost dunes of it, as you see with Forensic Daylight spell. It's just sort of rising and falling. And Celeste, you hear a strange sort of hissing noise, as though somebody is moving a lot of this sand, or a lot of this sand is being displaced somewhere. You can't
We're not
immediately
the only
see it,
one
but you
here.
can hear it.
I hear somebody or something.
Or somehow.
Or some when.
Definitely just the first two options.
Or so
Okay.
what?
Where is it coming from?
I will point in the direction I think it's coming
It's
from.
difficult because it seems to. At one point, it's like directly in front of you, and then it's off to your right, and then it's back in front of you, and then it's to the left, then it's behind you, and then it's in front of you, and then weirdly it seems to be above you, and then it's off to the
Everywhere.
right again.
It's everywhere and nowhere.
Baby.
It's moving. I don't understand.
Right, well,
Vibe
what
check.
direction are we going in then?
We all know that this is a strange place to be.
Can I perform a vibe check?
Sure. What kind of vibe check are we going for?
It's place is strange. Dunes of black sand.
Yes.
Does it feel extra planar, as though we've shifted where we are again?
Make a nature check. Or Arcana, I suppose. You could maybe...
Both are kind of equal.
Well, let me know which one you're doing and do it.
It's kind of extra planar stuff. It's an 18, and we'll say Melissa's focused on the magic, less Arcana.
Arcana.
That's how she tends to tell.
Yeah. It's not... It doesn't feel like a different plane as such. Well, maybe it is, but not a major plane shift. You're not in the Hells or the Astral Sea or anywhere like that, but it does seem a little off kilter.
Yeah.
It feels. Has anybody got a bag of holding?
Oh shit.
No, nobody got a bag of holding.
God, no.
A bit like
No.
a pocket dimension.
No.
I was going to say,
Feels
it's
like-
like when you. It feels like when you put your hand in a bag of holding, that slight tingle as the magic takes effect as you go to a little pocket dimension.
We're in a pocket dimension.
What's one of them then?
You got that. So you've got the planes. You've got material plane where we live, our home. And then you got the Hells. That's a different plane. Pocket dimensions kind of in between those, and they tend to be small. For some reason, I could be going crazy, but I think we're inside the well.
What?
Like, it's pitch black.
All I
And
know is that the last time we were in a
don't know.
place with lots of sand, I got stabbed.
Yeah.
Where was
I was in Peladus's temple and I got stabbed by snow.
that? Probably
If-
third.
We welled before, and we ended up in the desert where Scorch's home was, and had to leave before.
Well,
So
If we're inside the well, why don't we open the well? Then we can just jump out.
I don't think that's going to work. I'm not
That's
sure.
cool.
I could be wrong.
No,
But if we
you
jump
won't
out of the
open it.
well, we're still here.
There's one way to confirm this. Have you got the well?
Yark?
Yeah.
How can we be in the well if we jump out of it? That
How
was
can you be in the
It's
well
just
if
a
Yorick's holding it?
theory. I don't know for certain, but we're definitely somewhere. Not in a material plane. We're not in the Hells. We're not anywhere.
Wait, but I spoke to Riox and he was like, "So you're back entangled then?" Or something.
It might have been. Gus, you couldn't hear us after you jumped down here.
Well, I heard Yorick.
But you couldn't hear the rest of us.
No.
I'm willing to bet that hole we dropped down led here.
Well,
Same
it wouldn't lead
as
anywhere else, would it? I mean, we're here, aren't we? We jumped down a hole.
yeah, the same as when we went into Amash's temple, and when we got to those lower levels, we'd gone from the fire wastes into the Hells again.
I see. So back in that corridor before we jumped, we weren't in a pocket dimension, and now we are because we
Now we
just
are.
jumped into one.
So we might not be in the well, but we're definitely somewhere. Another one of these prisons, I suspect.
If I look
Why
at
don't we just get back in the pocket dimension then? No, that's wrong. In the well and go somewhere else.
I did
Possibly.
suggest that. Right at the start.
I know, right? But it's like, I don't know, being a couple of streets away from your house and calling a taxi. You know, you're just like right there. Especially it's a taxi that might take you to somewhere else.
Why
Is there
would
any way we can build something to get back out of that hole?
Well, all I can see around here is sand, so unless you can make a really big sandcastle.
Well, maybe Gus could do something with rope.
Right.
just to test something out here, DM?
Yeah.
And this, like, narratively could make Florian look fucking crazy. But I'm going to I haven't moved from dropping down, but I'm gonna jump up and see if it feels freer to jump up, like if there's like a lesser gravity here or anything.
Okay. You jump up. Gravity seems normal.
I'm just gonna see like if there was enough. If you jumped, put a big enough jump in it, you could jump back up through the hole. But
Jump around.
Are you trying to jump through the hole?
yeah, I'll give it a go.
Okay. How high can you jump?
Cool. Jumping. High jump.
If you tell people what you're doing, they might be able to give you a boost. One of our strong people.
Yeah, I can only jump 3 plus your strength modifier, so I can only jump 13 feet on my own if I high jump.
Okay, and there's no dope monk shit you can do. Don't think so at the moment.
Depth of the wind doubles your jump distance.
Yeah, but the high jump isn't done on that.
Yep.
Does it not affect jump height as well?
Well, I've got an idea. If you want to hear it.
Go on then, Gus.
Right, we got some very tall people here, and you can run up walls, can't you? So why don't we get 2 of our tallest people to sit on each other's shoulder, or one of them to sit on the other one's shoulders, and then
Florian can run up them.
yeah, you can run up them like a wall, and when they get to the top, they can hoink you up in the air, and you'll go miles.
Or
I'm up for it.
Or you could just run at me and I'll boost him up because I'm a big person.
Either way, yeah. Let's try them both. See which one works.
Okay, which one are you trying? Which one of these amazing
so
plants are you trying first?
I'll give a nod to Ferenz and be like, come and stand where I am, Ferenz, because I haven't moved and this is where I dropped down, so it's still got to be above me. And I'll move back, sort of like 10-foot
So
type thing. And
before this happens, question.
Yes.
So the way I'm envisioning this is I'm going to get my shield and lay it flat, and then I'm going to make him run at me. And when he gets to me and pushes off, I'm going to push up.
Okay.
So can I use my powerful builds? Because it says that I can count as one size larger, determining carry capacity, weight, push, drag, and
Yeah,
or lift.
absolutely.
Because
That's what
I'm
it's for.
pushing upwards.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Cool.
Have
So
my
you
hand on Florian's shoulder and cast guidance. Good luck.
so you just see sort of like Ferenz crouch down a little bit and sort of really
Yeah.
sort of like set himself in a wide stance, ready for this.
Okay.
Florian, before you go,
I'll put my hand on Florian's shoulder and say, "Don't fuck it up."
Gus, I was just about to say that.
Oh, right.
I'll try and add to. And yeah, so I'll step back 10 foot, and then
Okay.
I'll be like to Ferenz, 1, 2, 3, and then
Okay. So, you fire Florian at where the hole was, and you take 21 points of bludgeoning damage. You smash into solid rock.
Brilliant.
I mean,
Okay.
no,
Aaron, you all right?
we don't know. That hurt a bit, but how high? Oh, so it's going to be pretty low.
yeah,
Right.
it was.
Yeah.
It was about 15 feet, and Ferenz
Okay.
is 7 foot tall, and he
Yeah.
launched you with all his strength, and you jumped. So
Mhm.
you were going quite quickly when you hit that.
100%.
Oh, that was fantastic.
The way we came in is definitely not the way we go out.
No.
You're right, all right, mate.
Celeste,
that-
are those
that
noises
actually-
getting any closer?
They're all around. I can't tell.
The noises have stopped.
No, wait.
They were fine. They were going while you were all talking, and as soon as Florian hit the ceiling, the noises have stopped. So I'll let you have a little break while you think about how worrying that is.
Stupid
or
we
not.
are.
I thought that was good news.
Obviously, it's the best. We'll have a little break. We'll be back after and get a drink, and yeah, we'll be right back. party is in a very strange room filled with black sand, and Florian has determined there is a ceiling by smashing into it violently with his head. So, what would you like to do?
So, what do we try next? Pick a direction and see where it takes us?
Or we could just dump in the bloody hole.
That's our last option, I think.
As
Let's
you,
get this way.
Yeah.
I'll
as
just
you
start
are
walking off.
discussing this, there is a strange sort of grinding, clicking noise. Sort of
Where is it coming from?
sort of all around you, all around the walls. And then the room tilts.
Hmm?
But somebody to roll a d4 for me, please. Who's got
I'll
it?
do
Who's
it
got
on-
it?
The walls were going to close in. I was about to ask 3PO to shut down.
Rolled it on
trash compactors.
on
You rolled a 1.
D&D Beyond.
Okay, so the room rotates 90 degrees. The rest, all of you, and the sand just.
Whee!
And then the room stops.
What?
As you sort of climb your way out of the sand so you can breathe again. There's that noise of sand moving, grains of sand brushing against each other. It's getting louder and louder. Celeste, you see off maybe 100 feet, 120 feet. The dunes are no longer dunes, it's flat until it starts to curve downwards.
We in an hourglass?
What's an hourglass?
Maybe.
It's an item that contains sand, so a specified amount of time can pass where you can keep an eye on it.
It's a bit weird. Should we go jump down that hole then?
I think we'll just end up in the other section.
Well, there's nothing here, is there?
If it's made of glass, we find a wall and break it.
I think Florian found one of the walls and it almost broke him.
Well, you might have found the top or the bottom.
It definitely felt like rock, not wood or glass.
Why don't you try firing an arrow, Melissa?
As you're discussing this, you can all feel yourself being slowly moving forward towards this hole. It's more like a whirlpool made out of sand now.
I think you're right.
So we want to go away from the hole to find the wall then?
No, I think if we follow it,
Follow what?
the hole, go down, we will hopefully get out.
Alright, let's go then. And I'll just scoot off down and jump down the hole.
Okay, so
Right.
you running makes it easy because the sand is all going that way. So you just don't really need to run. You can just stand.
I guess today is
and
uh,
as you sort of
follow
crest
follow
over
Thursday.
over this the sort of edge of no return, as it were, you can see the sand swirling into darkness as you
I'll hold my breath.
yeah, as you go pulled underneath the sand, and you find yourself falling and falling and falling, and then you're sort of rolling down a huge dune of sand. I would like you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Ja. 10.
10. Yeah, you take 3 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit a wall
Okay.
at the end of this sand sort of
Is it glass?
slide. Sorry?
Is it glass or is it stone?
No, it's stone.
I'll shout back up. It's not glass!
The rest of you are being pulled inexorably to this hole.
I think we should just head down there and figure out with him.
Yeah.
Eagerly follow Gus.
Okay, I want everybody to make a dexterity saving throw for when you get through the hole. If you get a 12 or lower, let me know. 3,
So natural 1
6,
for 3.
10.
10,
13.
13, you're fine.
I failed it, but I'm going to use my ring of evasion, one of those charges, to succeed it.
Okay.
I,
So-
actually, I can roll with advantage because it's something I can see.
Yeah, I suppose.
That doesn't make any difference.
Does it not? Oops.
It's worth.
Well, you'll take 5 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the sides of this container. You're not all at the same side either. You are separated. Some of you are together. I will say, everybody roll a d6. Don't tell me what the numbers are yet.
Does everyone take that 5 points of damage, just the ones who failed it?
Just the ones who failed.
So how much damage? 5?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So, hands up if you got a 1 on your d6. Okay. Ferenz, Gus, and Yorick, you end up in the same place. All three of you sort of together. And obviously, Ferenz's light spell is still, daylight spell is still showing you 60 foot of darkness. Who rolled a 2? Miet and Trenador, you both end up in the same place as well, but you can't see any of the others. You can see a sort of dim light far away to your left. And you're going to roll a 3. No, cool. A 4? No 4s. A 5? 2 5s. Okay, so Florian and Celeste, you end up together. You can't see anybody and you can't see any light anywhere. Who rolled a 6? Yeah, Melissa, you are alone. You can't see anyone. All of you can hear this hissing noise as more sand falls into this room, and it's sort of piling up and slowly falling towards you. You have to keep moving to not get buried. So, what would you like to do?
Can I have a look around the walls and see if I can see any holes or gaps or any way out?
Absolutely, make a perception
In
check
my
or investigation.
Dwarven
Your
stone specialism.
choice, perception or investigation.
Perception. That's an 18.
18. Yeah, looking around this section of wall that you're at, especially with the daylight spell, you can see it's really strange. They're very smooth, these walls, and they sort of go inwards up to the top where you fell through. And there's a sort of circular. Wait, no, that's not circular. It's octagonal hole up at the top where all this sand is coming through. And you don't see any joins or doors or runes or inscriptions or anything. It's really very strange.
Well, I don't know what to do now. Maybe we should try and find the others.
Trelador? Melissa? Florian shouts out.
Yeah, I mean, you could
I
hear.
think it's just me. But I've about had enough of this, and I'm going to cast Produce Flame to hold a light in my hand
Okay.
and try and quickly move away and try and see if I can find like the boundary of this area.
Sure. I mean, you're up against the wall. So you can sort of feel along the wall that it's made of smooth stone or stone-like substance, and it goes up towards where you fell through, which is about, I would say, about 60 feet away.
Does anybody hear me calling out?
Yeah. Yeah, everybody can hear Florian calling out.
Over here!
Right, we should. Okay.
Can we see any light from Ferenz?
I did say that the people who rolled a 2 could see the light, but the rest of you couldn't.
We'll start moving towards the light.
Was Ferenz on 1?
Yes.
Yeah.
Can I see it from being on 6?
Yeah, I'll say so. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to start heading towards the light. Though, I'm going to pick up a handful of the sand and inspect it. Is it sand or is it ash?
Interesting. Roll a nature check. You've got lots of tiny little ashes running around on your head going, hello!
None of them have ears.
Wow. That's creepy.
17 on the nature. Got plus 7.
I mean, it looks like jet black sand, but it doesn't feel as gritty. You know, when you pick up sand, sometimes it can feel really gritty. This is more like very, very smooth, tiny pebbles. So whilst if you sort of run your hand through some sand, you can feel the roughness. This is smooth as you run your hand through it. It's very
strange. And it's just definitely black in the light, yeah?
Absolutely inky black.
Florian, I think we should stick together.
Yeah, I think we should just stick to the side of this, though.
Yeah, follow the wall and hopefully we'll find everybody else.
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll go clockwise.
You're going clockwise. Okay. Anybody else moving?
I'm just going to follow Miette. Okay. She's proven to be a good
Heading
scout,
towards
so
the light.
Okay.
Mr. Yorick, because I've got, and I just point to this, I think we should probably stay still and let people come to us because we can be a point of reference, shall we say?
You're right. That makes sense.
So sort of brains will just hold it as up high.
Okay, and as you do that, the rest of you, as you're moving around, can start to see the light filter around this enormous mountain of sand.
Oh, look, Celeste, it's a beacon of hope, some would say.
it's a fair beacon.
Well, I guess we ought to head towards the light then.
There's a theme. Wow, who knew?
No, go into the light. Oh, wait. Please, yeah, go into the light. Go into the light.
Go into the light.
Well, if this is an hourglass, there wouldn't be any way out. Perhaps that light was magical.
Oh, that she can see us waving.
Nice. Excellent.
Perhaps that chamber we ended up in was designed to catch us? And we just got caught up in it when we were traveling?
I mean, I take it we're all together now, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Yark did say that Riok said that we were in Darkhold, so maybe it was like a very early on.
We ain't in Darkhold anymore.
No, but maybe that chamber was kind of like a security feature as such.
That's what I think.
That was almost that we're not in Kansas anymore. Well, yeah, that's what Riox said. It was a sort of trap to stop things, but
What if the way out of this place will only reveal itself when this thing moves?
maybe.
Or if we will it to reveal itself?
Melissa,
If
can you make a religion check, please?
Sure.
if an hourglass is just that weird shape with sand in, how do you get the sand in it? Is there like a stopper or something?
I think so.
Yes, usually the sand is poured in from either the top or the bottom end. Well, they're both the same, really, since one is the top and then the bottom at the same time. But
I'm either going to really like what I hear next or really hate it, but
Go for it. What'd you get?
natural 20 for 27.
Ooh, awesome. Okay. You hear footsteps far away at first, and then echoing as if down a long corridor or room, and a female voice say, "Huh, that's not where I left you." And everybody feels the room move and get picked up.
I
And
recognise the voice.
You do.
Is it Remora?
It is. The hourglass gets
Hold
tipped
on.
another 90 degrees, and the sandal shifts. And I want everybody to make a dexterity saving throw.
God, this is going to. The first one went oh so well.
Does this happen suddenly? So I
Yes, it
wouldn't see
does.
it?
Oh my god! I just looked at the rolls on D&D Beyond, and 4 of us rolled a 12.
Wow. That's pretty impressive.
17.
17.
Natural 20 for 24.
My second
Nice.
natural one in a row, or
Oh.
3.
Okay. Everybody that. Did anybody get 17 or over?
Yeah, I got 30.
Natural 20.
Yeah, okay. So you guys take 8 points of bludgeoning damage as you're sort of ricocheted around this room. Everybody else that failed takes 16.
what was the passing? Sorry.
17.
17.
Okay.
As we kind of land, recognizing the voice, I'm just going to call out to Remora. Remora, we're inside.
You feel the room sort of stop and very gently rotate. It's disorientating, but Melissa, you see it becomes clear, the side as though somebody's wiping dust off a glass to look in. There is a giant face of Remora staring into this
Well,
hourglass.
That's never happened before.
Just wave out and say, hello!
Now, why are you all in here? This won't be. This is not good. Hold on. I'm going to tip it up again. Bear with me. She very slowly starts to tip it, and you all sort of slide down. You don't take any damage this time. And then you hear sort of grinding, like, then a sort of, and light floods in, and she tips the hourglass so that the sand is flat, and you can walk through the octagonal hole out to the other side of the room.
We were in the top of the...
And out of the top of the hourglass. This was basically an hourglass that was on its side, and when Florian rocked it, it fell. And sand started pouring through. And Remora sort of... Everything sort of... as you get out of the hourglass, everything sort of shimmers, and you are back in that comfortable waiting room with a couple of sofas, some cold beers for the dwarves. And Remora is your size. Again, it all happens within a blink of an eye, as if she wasn't absolutely enormous and you were not tiny. The hourglass is nowhere to be seen. And you just see Remora looking slightly puzzled.
I'll sit down on the sofa and beckon Yorick over and give him a beer. Say, nice to see you again. Cheers. And have a beer.
And you, Gus, that was different.
Thank you.
Now, I don't wish to be rude. You are obviously always welcome here. But this is the second time you have come into my realm unexpectedly. Now,
Well, you're such a gracious hostess.
thank you, Gus. That is noted. I'm sure Reorx waits with bated breath for you to be beside him in the pub. With flattery like that, I'm sure he'll be very happy. Anyway, you are all here once more. This is perplexing. Hello. And a new person.
This
You
is
are-
Ferenz.
Yes, this is Ferenz, a follower of... Hang on, don't tell me. Shine. The Great Crystal Dragon.
Yes.
Ah, interesting. Well, Ferenz, welcome. Is there anything you would desire while you're here?
The beer's very good.
A refreshment. The dwarves tend to like the beers. But you
Our-
can ask for anything.
Our apologies, my lady, for intruding.
Well, I suspect you haven't done it deliberately. Otherwise,
No.
you would
Indeed
be
not.
certainly more distressed than you are looking. So, yes, Ferenz, would you care for a refreshment at all?
I'm okay, thank you.
Okay, very well. If you change your mind, let me know.
I'll be over here, and I'll
Make
will
yourself
just go
comfortable.
sit on the floor.
Some
Good
cushions
boy,
appear
Fred.
behind you. Yes, Yorick.
Now, not so long ago, I spoke to Reorx, and he said we were in Dagcold, and then we jumped into a pit, and we came
Right.
into wherever we were, and now we're here. Did we die? Are we all dead?
Well, technically everyone's actually dead, but to me, time doesn't really matter. So technically, you are all dead, but not in the way you think you are, because at the moment in your time, you're still alive. When you fell down that pit, you somehow walked into a pocket dimension into one of my hourglasses. Oh dear, I've broken Yorick. So, you somehow got into one of the very old hourglasses, the lifetime as I call them. Now this one was on its side for a reason. It's very old. Let me just... She wipes the dust off to see the name. Oh, interesting. Now,
Is that interesting in a good way or a...
Is she looking at any one of us in particular?
no, she was looking at the hourglasses and she sort of looked up at you in general and said, interesting. So, this being is on hold, as it were. And when you upset the hourglass, as you did, from within, not sure how you managed that, but it started the lifetimer again, but I've stopped it, obviously, which means that something strange may happen in your world. I'm not entirely sure what. But
May we ask who?
you may not. Unfortunately, it's not my place to give you names of people or beings that have on hold, as it were. This is a need-to-know basis. I'm sorry. But I can, of course, the same as before, cast a door for you to walk through, which will take you back to the time when you entered my realm in your life. Now again, some of you, she looks directly at Celeste, are not in the correct time currently, so this may be dangerous, and you may end up separated from the rest of your group. I'm assuming you don't want that. Or you might.
Preferably not.
But unfortunately, I cannot control time. I'm not of time, so I can sort of go whenever. But if you have another way of transferring realms or planes, then it would be best to use that. I believe you had a well last time. I don't know if you still have that.
That led us to the place where we ended up inside the hourglass.
Right, so it's fairly
I
random.
don't think
then.
we've quite established how it properly works.
Right, okay. Well, as ever, you're welcome to stay here, but time will still pass for you outside. So, I don't know if you're doing anything urgent, but if you are, it's probably best to get going back to it. But, feel refreshed, and you can all have a short rest without actually spending the hour.
Okay.
Roll hit dice if you need to.
I use one of my hit dice. I'm going to use my fighter hit dice. Because I have those.
Nice. I just used 4 hit dice. 6, 8, 8, 4.
Nice.
Sorry.
We don't re-roll ones doing this one, do we?
No.
No.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. I'm just.
I got 42 hit points back off that.
Nice. Because some of you were looking a little unwell.
Worse for wear.
Does anyone else have the same problems I'm doing with D&D Beyond? You know that when you have the rolls up, where it shows everybody's rolls,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it used to show the latest roll all the time, but now it just scrolls down. Whenever you go onto it, it's at the top, and you have to scroll right down to the bottom.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
looks
For
at the
a few
top.
sessions.
Yeah, they've broken that, haven't they?
Yeah. It's really annoying.
Unsurprising.
I wonder if it was just me.
No, it's not just you.
Alright, there you are.
Miss Romara.
Ah, Florian.
Hi.
Ah, I see we've nearly met for
Yeah.
real today. Well, not today, but, you know.
I know you can't answer questions like most people, as such.
Well, I could answer. Whether I will or not.
Is a different question.
Exactly.
Yes.
But do ask your question. If I can, I will.
So the predicament that led us here is that I was led to believe that there was a safe place and time to try and rescue my sister.
Right.
To try and stop this whole summoning thing going on, like we said before. We found my sister. I
Good
was
news.
believed to believe that my mother was with her,
Right.
which I do believe it was. And when I got close enough to my sister, she grabbed my arm and said something along the lines of, I've got you now, but it wasn't in her voice.
Oh.
And Mr. Trillador over there, some time ago, took the curse from me, what links me and my sister.
How very noble. I can see
He was
that
becoming insufferable.
he is. I can see that Trenador is a very noble being for doing that for you,
Yes, yes, I am.
and not
He
at
is.
all braggadocio.
The main question is, really, with all of this going on, my mother, do you know if she's of demonic religion?
I can
The
tell
last
you.
face I saw of hers was covered in lava and the size of a doorway.
Interesting. Well, your mother is certainly not dead. I can tell you that much. Nor is your sister. Your
I'm
father,
not sure I like the
however-
emphasis on the your.
Your father, however, unfortunately, is within the realm.
How long ago was that?
Well, it's difficult to say in your timeline. I suspect maybe. Let me see. She sits there trying to work something out.
Hmm?
I would say, let me see, 20, 21, 22 nearly years ago in your timeline.
Checks notes. Oh,
But then you would have known that growing up without a father. Or perhaps
on.
you were never told. Who knows?
Pretty sure Florian's mentioned a father.
hang on, DM.
Yes.
Just checking.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty sure the whole plan was split the twins and send each twin with a parent.
Yeah, Florian. I think Florian's definitely mentioned a father.
Uh-huh.
Was it his dad that told him stories of Ardiac?
No.
Oh fuck, we were all wrong. We thought his mother was a demon. Turns out his father's the fucking worst god alive. Or stepfather.
21 years ago.
Yes, approximately. Time is, difficult sometimes.
How old
Well,
is Florian?
Even, hang on a minute. Hang on. Even if that were longer, I'm only 22.
Yes, he died just before your birth.
My father brought me up.
Well,
I left him when I was 12.
that's not my place to break these things, but usually I have to. Well, you see, your father died just before your birth. The gentleman that brought you up was indeed like a father to you.
And that's not a name you can give me, is it?
Your foster father? Of course. You know that name already, I'm sure. Your
I
actual
knew
father?
him.
Unfortunately not. I mean, it should be fairly easy. You could just ask your mother. She would know.
Well, as far as I'm aware, my mother is in league with... It's a safe place here, right?
Absolutely, yes. This is my realm. Nobody invades without my knowledge, apart from you, it seems.
And again, apologies, but... Yeah, my mother, I would surmise from what we've just been through, is in league with Fiona.
Right. That's unfortunate.
Which means I probably can ask her at the minute.
Well,
And kind of makes sense now that mine and my sister's blood, bodies and soul, whichever one it may be out of the three, is linked to her being released into the world. And
I
if my
mean-
father wasn't my father, was he good or bad?
well, who's to say? Everybody ends up where they belong. I don't judge, as you know. I'm merely the transportation to the next place.
Take it from me, Florian. Your parentage shouldn't have to define who you are.
Well, exactly.
That's
See?
not what I'm thinking of, but I knew my dad as Jonathan. Jonathan
A
Winchester.
fine man, by all accounts. But
Not the answers I was expecting, but
Well, I did say I would answer, and I answered. So,
no, thank you. It
if
may
I
bring a
apologise if it upsets you, but the truth shall set you free.
Yeah, maybe it gives us a bit of an edge from what to do next, but we'll have to think about it.
Well, glad to be of service.
Again, many thanks,
Miss-
Lamar.
No problem, Mr. Friends. You are waggling your finger around as if you wish to speak to me. Go right ahead.
So, where we came from,
Yes.
these lots said was potentially the temple of the Lady Amash, which, if I haven't missed my guess, is your sister.
Yes. She was
And-
never quite right, that one.
Okay, that makes me feel less sanguine, shall we say, about the fact that I may or may not have really quite annoyed her.
Oh, well, it's fairly easy. She's very hot-tempered.
Right.
As you laugh, Florian, she just looks, she sits completely deadpan, but then you see her just wink at you.
Right.
I've sent you something, DM.
This isn't the first time that I've annoyed someone inadvertently, so it just
Oh.
happens to be that this is the first time that I've annoyed a personage of a divine nature.
Well, I wouldn't feel too bad. Just about everything annoys Amash. She's, as I said, very hot-tempered, fiery, in fact, and is fairly easy to annoy. It was always a fun thing to do when growing up. Peladas especially could annoy her very easily.
Well, I imagine him, with him being the god of the waters and perhaps putting their fires out, could quite annoy you.
Yes,
a fair
they
bit.
did get on. Well, to start with, it was good, but
Could be
then
quite steamy, you say.
absolutely lots of steam, super hot, and people running and screaming. They got on really well. So yeah, don't take it too personally. She gets annoyed by things,
Yeah.
people, clouds.
But it's kind of made me reconsider my let's just jump into things and experience everything kind of, because this happens. He just gestures to him from the shoulders up.
Well, don't worry, friends. You are a kind soul, and with your companions here, I'm sure that the things you need to do will get done, because
I
you
do
are one of those people that gets things done, are you not?
I am.
Good.
I think that's kind of why Shine chose me, but I think I annoyed him as well, or at least disappointed him a little bit. But that's besides the point. I'm getting a little bit off topic. I do have a question directly for you,
Oh,
though.
of course.
So, I'm not. I suppose I don't really need an answer. I just need a confirmation, really. When Shine woke up, the mounting kind of ceased to be,
Yes.
and I'm hoping that as few people got injured as possible. But
There were a
are you
few
looking after? Are you looking after the
fatalities.
ones that didn't make it?
Of course.
Well,
Of course.
I thank you for that. That's good to know.
There's no thanks needed. As I've said before, I am merely the transportation to wherever you need to be the next time.
So I mean, when I eventually go home, and I'm hoping I make it home, but at this point, I seriously think that I might be walking through those gates myself at some point or another fairly soon. But that's besides the point.
If you buy it Arthur again.
Yeah. If I do eventually go home, that will provide immense relief to those that they are being looked after.
Oh, absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have many things to do, so unless there is any more pressing questions, I will leave you to your decision. She sort of waves a hand and a door appears.
Do we want to use that door or this one?
Well, as I said, if you use my door, it will return you to your timeline.
What, in Daggold?
It will return you to your timeline just before you got here.
Oh, right, okay.
But Celeste will not be with you because her timeline for her age is not in the right place. So, as I said, it's entirely up to you. I will force no choices upon you. And I will leave you to your decisions, unless there is any more questions. Just one?
One more?
Sure.
Could we have a couple of beers for the road?
Of course. You just look at the table and there's a couple more beers just sat there. Nice tall frosty glasses.
Oh, I do love popping by here. You're so good.
It's always a pleasure to see you, Yorick. And the rest of you. So, take care, and hopefully we don't see each other too soon. And she starts to walk off, and as she walks, she just turns into like billions of grains of black sand and just disappears.
I like her.
She's lovely.
I like her beer as well.
I do get kind of a sense of existential dread whenever I pop by, but you know, the beer helps.
That's a big word for you, isn't it?
But Florian has been using it a lot lately.
Sorry, yeah.
Florian has been using that word a lot lately.
So,
right, going through the door or through the hole then?
Through the
Well down on the floor.
because
I'll just jump
we
straight
don't
through.
want to.
Gus has gone.
We need to follow him.
Go.
And I'm thinking about my mum as I jump through.
Okay.
Just following Gus.
So everybody's following Gus, jumping through the hole.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Nobody's taken the door option?
No.
No?
I didn't even get a chance to say anything before he'd gone.
Gus just makes decisions for us.
Oh no, so I asked if we're going through the door or through the hole. Yorick shoved a hole on the floor, so I jumped in. That's not making a decision for you. I was being told we were using the hole, so I used the hole.
Yep. Up to you guys, what are you doing?
Going in the hole.
Going in the hole.
Yeah.
Well,
Everybody in the hole. Apart from Florian.
We end up back at the start again.
Out of cheese.
So,
reading from start.
to clarify this,
Yes.
you go through the door, we end up back in the fire waste within the hells when we
Not
use the well
necessarily.
first, yeah?
No.
We'll probably
I
end
didn't say
up back in that never-ending corridor because that's where we jumped through the portal into her hourglass.
Remora's words were, you will be returned to your timeline just before you stepped into her realm. So Gus is correct. Or James is correct, rather. So you will be back in that corridor if you go through the door.
Yeah. So the well is our option.
Yep. Okay. The well then.
Okay. So everybody jumps in the well, and as that
Grab
familiar.
it as we go through.
Sorry,
Grab it. The
Yeah.
corner of it as we go through.
I took that as read.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So,
I know that if you don't say it, sometimes.
Yeah, that's fair enough. No, that's good looking out. As you fall through the familiar blackness of the well, that's where we'll end it for today.
Yeah, I knew that was coming.
I mean, the time is 10
You
o'clock.
have to,
So,
though, doesn't you?
yeah. Seriously, well done, guys. That was brilliant. I really
It was
enjoyed
absolutely
that.
awesome.
That was really good fun. Yeah, so you started off falling through the well and you ended falling through the well. But
We did really well.
You are doing exceptionally well.
Well.
Some might say we didn't achieve anything.
I was about to say that was a net gain of 0, except for the fact that we hadn't got enough fucking well going on. Florian went and woke up some unknown creature to fuck with the world somehow that we won't know until we get back.
But
if
we don't
get
know how long it was awake for before Remora put
Florian.
it back on its side.
And he knows his father is not his father.
Which
I am not your father.
is fodder for so many conspiracy beards, but
Oh yeah, we are doing conspiracy beard this evening.
You're the one who searched the Ardiac.
See, okay, I'll start, obviously.
Okay.
With that quite a big lore dump. So, one, apart from being the saviour or the end of the world as we know it, does Florian have any magic powers? That's the question. Is this like this?
That should be interesting.
Yeah.
But...
You've got a really magically strong net structure.
Yeah, absolutely. Your head is your skull is so strong.
Yeah. It's
It should have been in your chest somewhere, but
And was it? Yeah, I don't know. So, is my father, who is not my father, in on this all? That's why he took care of me, and my mother took my sister away, who at that time, 21 years or 22 years ago, was already in league with Fiona. And this was planned out. It feels like it's this whole. It happens once every 1,000 years, and without knowing it yet, it's hitting that 1,000-year mark. And
Well, at least you know who the spy is, Florian.
once every 100,000 years or so, when the moon doth shine and the sun doth glow, or something.
Yeah.
Beware the other man when the moon is fat.
It's just one of those for me now. It's like I can't trust my mother from seeing her big lavery face through a doorway.
Lavery face. Be like
And my father is now not my father. What do I do? Do I try and find him? Do I try and ask questions? Or is that walking straight back into a trap because he's in league with everything else?
Well, that's an excellent conspiracy beard question. Well done.
I'd like to put out a completely left field conspiracy ears.
Love these.
Florian's foster father is actually Beto, taking an interest in trying to fuck with the plans of the evil gods and just going, you know what, this seems like fun. They're taking too much interest in this children. I'm going to step in here and, fuck with things. Because why not?
I mean, it does sound like something he would do. For sure. So, yeah, good conspiracy is that one. Anybody else?
Was there a way out of that corridor rather than down the pit? Assuming there would have been.
Yeah, there was.
We never actually addressed the light. Because that was the thing. The DM kept asking, are you saying that to the light? Are you looking to the light as you say that? Are you looking directly at the light? That was the most frequently asked question in the first half an hour.
thought that was just because we'd take psychic damage if we
Yeah.
did.
Yeah, I
I
mean
thought
that was
What
it,
if there's something else?
but you could have tried to extinguish the light.
Yeah, that's a good point.
To perhaps reveal another exit. Who knows? Because
I guess I'll never know.
I'm guessing none of you have got Dispel Magic or anything like that.
I have.
Oh, okay, cool.
Second level spells. Sorry, can't help you there.
Good to know.
Think.
Pretty sure I
Chicken.
did say it was just the light spell, but amplified.
Yeah, I did think about spell magic, but Gus
Spell
wouldn't
maggots
know.
is a different thing.
Yes, I do have it.
Ah, cool. Good to know.
I don't. I've got detect magic and identify, but no dispel magic.
Yeah.
I thought about trying to identify it, but I think I sort of said at the start I can identify things, but I can't touch light to cast the spell on it. So I don't know if that would have worked. But
Maybe you could have put a bag over it.
I mean,
Yeah, but
there are
it's-
many different ways you could have tried to extinguish the light.
it's one of those weird things, though, when if it felt like the shadows were trying to get us, then getting rid of the light.
That's not what was going on.
Yeah.
The shadows
still
were
think
trying
it's
to
something
keep
to do
you
with the
away
echoes.
from the light. That's all it was doing.
Suppose.
It was to stop you getting to the light. That's all it was doing. The shadows were
yeah, I can
pulling
see
you
it.
back.
I was just getting very strong Ardiac vibes in there and didn't like it.
No, nothing to do with
I think
RDF at all.
it was a trap set up by the dwarves that they didn't want things getting out of if they happened to fall into it. If something goes in there without the ability to cast some sort of light or create light, they're stuck against the back walls forever.
And mainly the things that the dwarves would have come across that deep under the mountains would not have
Would
been
have hated
casting
bright light.
Yep.
So they
That's
would
all
have
it
been
was,
stuck
simple
there
as that.
forever. Sorry, say that again.
I said that's all it was, just simple as that.
Yeah,
It was actually just a
absolutely.
wolf trap.
It was just
Yeah.
a dwarven trap.
It's one of those things, though. Normally, where there's light, there's safety. Where there's darkness, there's not.
Yeah,
So
well,
that's
the light
kind
was
of the
safe.
default. Yeah.
As long as you didn't look at it too hard.
The next question is, why is there a portal into one of Remora's hourglasses at the bottom of a hole in said trap?
Because we died.
That's a very good question.
That's
Why was the corridor endless?
Also a
Another
very
trap.
good question.
Is it like Labyrinth, where we just had to look in the right place for it to actually go down, and then we could actually go in somewhere else?
no.
Did we miss finding the worm?
I mean...
Yep. Just
the-
kept his trousers up the whole time.
You mean the fake?
Well...
What were you saying about dispelling maggots earlier?
Awesome. So yeah, I mean there were a couple other things in the corridor that you didn't spot, but you know, investigations checks were made but failed.
I was too busy painting the bridge.
Yeah. And just relying on a huge passive perception, it's not going to cut it all the time.
You have to dig around,
You have
find
to
stuff.
investigate and touch and get involved with things. There were ways out. You know, I'm not going to put you in a thing that you can't get out of.
I think that's the fun thing, though, isn't it? Like today's episode, like literally felt like it was just fucking chaos goblins. Literally, just all of us are like, right, we're gonna write this, and just wherever it takes us, let's go.
Oh,
I love
absolutely! It was brilliant fun. I really enjoyed it.
Let's poke around the edges, see what we can find out. Find nothing, run straight in.
Yeah.
Yep,
I-
that's pretty much it.
I have a conspiracy.
Ooh.
both Florian and Dakota's parents, neither of them were anything more than just regular humans. Because Florian doesn't have any abilities beyond his martial prowess as a monk that he would have trained in. We can't say for Dakota, but judging by the fact that she was living at home, I think she would have been fine. I think one of the two of Florian's parents may have been either a cultist of Vienna or something in that range, or a cultist of Ardiac, which could be even more scary, to be honest.
Counterpoint.
Maybe Florian doesn't even have a twin, it's just himself from another dimension.
I want to
Maybe
hear this
this is
counterpoint
Florian's-
from Mia.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When this campaign started, all those many sessions ago, it was with the knowledge that the Wandering Gus had no magic at all. Miette knew she had no magic, and there was no magic in her line. And how many times now have we been protected by the Wandering Gus protection magic?
That is true.
Yeah, maybe this is like Florian's awakening type thing.
I still think that the face that Florian saw was a mash impersonating his mother. I don't think... Although the scry was successful, wasn't it? And it was done...
Yeah, and
Or was it done on his mother or done on his sister? It was done on Dakota, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I saw my mother and I made an insight check on that, which was pretty high. And got very much mummy vibes.
Right.
Well, I suspect if you go back and view that part of the episode carefully, you will receive a bigger clue. Because I think you might be misremembering that.
Oh, okay.
Because I think, I could be wrong, but I thought the insight check was to see if it was genuine that she was asking for your help.
Could have been.
That her concern was genuine.
The insight check was not, is this really my mummy? It was, is this genuine concern and generally wanting Florian's help?
Best I go back and have a look.
I think we should get Ferenz to do another scry, but on I've forgotten her name, but on Florian's mother. Because Remora has confirmed that she is alive.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that was just a mash impersonating her. Because who knows what kind of abilities a mash has that because she's allied with Vienna.
I'll copy and paste the note from the recap because that was literally the description word for word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Didn't seem under outside influence.
Did I say, or did Florian check to see if that was actually his mum?
Yeah.
Play rules.
You know.
Be very careful about how you word your question.
Well,
this is the same DM who...
Because that was the question that wanted to be asked, and that was the answer that was needed.
No, completely. I've misremembered it. Which happens.
Yeah, no judgment. I'm just saying, just want to clarify so that you know.
But yeah.
You've got all the information that you need to make, conspiracy beards, because they're important.
Definitely. Cool.
So, anybody else got any conspiracy beards or questions? No? Cool. I can't ask Terry, she's watching something, so she's got her
I'm
headphones
just
on.
thinking... I feel like there's a potential way... Potentially looking at previous campaigns, possibly, about that hourglass. The name on that hourglass.
That sounds like cheating.
There's
It does sound a bit metagaming, looking at previous campaigns.
Yeah, but I wouldn't put it past you because it feels like Helloran is many years in the future from our campaigns in Carlin.
Well, I think we've
when
already
we went into
established that.
Yeah.
yeah, but the hourglasses, but they weren't hourglasses. I don't think they were described as hourglasses. But you're thinking of Belo's thing of the many
Oh, the soul
souls
jars.
or whatever they were. Yeah.
No, they're not
I-
glasses.
No, I think it is in a similar vein, though. There was a creature being held at bay by what Remora had done with the hourglass that got awoken just for a short moment. And I think either it's one of her siblings or one of the names in the book that we found. I've definitely not been feverishly opening that every couple of minutes a session. So it could be one of her siblings, or now I'm going to have to open it again to check the name. Ara.
Ooh, the lady.
Or it could be a being from the past. But I'm not sure who it could be. It could well be Scorch. There is a marked lack of chromatic and metallic dragons, but then again, they're all connected to all of the
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
no, the gods that got chased away by Zenarial Awakening. The names have escaped me. I can only think of their Paladin Tarkesis. Because I was thinking Bahamut Tiamat? No, it's the other names.
Kind of same thing, but
Speaking of that name, even now, whenever I hear someone say the word scenario, I can't help but think scenario.
Yeah.
I just had
I
images
think-
of Death
I
and
think
Library, Pratchett, Star.
yeah,
Hourglass.
yeah, that's yeah. It's death in this. In my world, is a sort of combination of Terry Pratchett's death and Neil Gaiman's death. From
Yes.
Sandman.
Look, she was delivering guinea pig food.
Hey!
The guinea pigs will be pleased.
The guinea pigs will be fed.
Cool.
Cool. Okay, so
guys, need to
yes,
sleep.
indeed. Have a wonderful time. If you enjoyed it, fantastic. You're great. If you didn't enjoy it, well, you know what to do. Off your